Good morning, Interwebs. It is Friday, November 1st, and I feel like I should update you on where I've been, because I had the best of intentions, as usual, in documenting the last, couple weeks, but I have not done a very good job. So, last I talked to you, I showed you day 11 of Squareathon. And then I told you we were leaving for California, and I kind of got you part of the way there. So, we took the northern route from Kansas to Southern California, which means driving over the grade in Denver, and then dropping down at, like, Vegas and coming across. So, that all went just fine. We got to my dad's house in 2 days like we had planned. Many of you who have watched for a long time know that Steve and I, in the past, have powered through and done the 26-ish hours of driving straight through, no stops. We just alternate back and forth. When we had younger children, it was way easier because kids sleep in the car and the people driving don't. And then we get to a hotel if we tried that, which we tried a few times. We had babies. And then the kid would just be awake, and so it wasn't any more restful, and it was no good. So we've always just kind of powered through, but we decided that because we needed to be functional humans the entirety of being at my dad's, and because it wasn't like a vacation, we were there to get things done, that we needed to be somewhat rested and to stay on a quasi-normal schedule for everybody's benefit. So that's what we did. We stayed in a hotel one night on the way out, and then we got there. We were there, so let's see, we left here Tuesday, stayed in a hotel Tuesday night, got there Wednesday. Then we spent Thursday and Friday basically cleaning out and going through parts of his house. My sisters had already made huge progress helping him, but I needed to go through and pick out the things I wanted. They had basically left my mom's craft room untouched for me, which had been my request when they started moving things, was don't touch it, I'll get it. So I did. And there actually was slightly less stuff there than I was expecting. Everyone kept telling me there was so much, and there was only like so much. I still think that the definition of a metric crap ton is the appropriate amount that I've brought home, but like, it's definitely not any more than that. So we did that. My sister and her kids came up that on Friday night, and so we got to hang out with them a little bit and go through some more things, distribute my mom's quilts amongst us, and then Saturday, my sister's husband and other kids came up, so I got to see them as well. And then we all just kind of hung out and went through pictures, and pictures were really the standstill item. We just kept taking all of the like papers and, I don't know, ephemera. Ooh, ephemera is a good word. All of that, and we put it all in like one room, and that was like the last thing that needed to be gone through. And so we started going through it and decided that basically we just split the pictures in half. I am substantially younger than my sisters. They're 14 and 16 years older. So there is like a whole batch of family history that is pre-me, and then I come onto the scene and there's, 34 years of it. So I just took all of the photos from once I was born, and I will go through them. And remember the era where you used to get photos printed and then you get like doubles printed, sometimes more than doubles, because you have like these good deals or you were going to give them to people or whatever. And anyways, you end up with like a ton of blurry pictures that you weren't actually going to use, but you had like them in triplicate. So we have lots of those. So I'm going to go through and sort things out, probably scan pictures and then share them digitally with my siblings. And then they took the stuff pre-me to do similar things with. That way, it's kind of divvied up, and I don't know who the people are in a lot of the pictures unless they're like family members. There's lots of pictures of like non-family events as well. So she doesn't take care of that. And then Sunday morning we packed up and we drove home in 2 vehicles. I am now the proud owner of a, let's see if you can see it out there, of a cargo van. That cargo van is full of furniture and a giant grill rotisserie smoker thing and fabric and photos. Actually, the photos all came in the minivan with me. But anyways, we have, my family has had this van for most of my life. We have it, and now we have it, I guess. So we used it to transport things back. And currently it is still full of stuff. There's nothing perishable in that van. And so Steve and I are just leaving everything there till his next set of days off. Maybe the one after that. So it might be there for 2 weeks, a month, 6 weeks. Those things are fine to just kind of sit there. They're in storage right now, basically. Until I can get through the stuff that I've already brought in the house. And also just, there's no reason that we have to bring it all in at once. So, we'll get to that when we get to that. Because we don't need to be like driving that car around. So, it's fine. So, to get back home, we ended up taking, instead of 2 days that we took to get out, we took 3 days to get home. So, we stayed in 2 hotels. And we also took the southern route, which goes through, like, Albuquerque instead of going through Denver, which was a good choice because on the day we should have been driving through Denver, they had whiteout conditions. So, we would have not have had a good trip. And instead, we had kind of a long trip. New Mexico is just long. It's the same way when I ride the train. If you've watched for a long time, I have at least one train vlog that I did for the whole thing. I just talked about how, like, while I was awake, it was just New Mexico. And that's what it felt like. Like, New Mexico was long. Our first day, we drove pretty far. We made it all the way to Flagstaff in the first day with great energy. And Steve and I actually would have been like, maybe we should go further. But we were like, no, this is far enough. We should stop. Because we were trying to make good choices. So, we stopped for the night. And then the next day, we drove. And I swear, we just weren't making any headway. So, we only made it to... Where did we stop? Oh, Tucumcari. The fun place. It's got a fun name. It's not, I don't know if it's a fun place. I've only ever, like, stayed there in hotels. But Tucumcari is where we stopped, because if we didn't stop in Tucumcari, we had to commit to, like, multiple hours of driving before we got to the next, like, place that I was willing to stop. So, we stopped there. And then we made a good time home the next day. And then we all got to get into our comfy, cozy beds. We started a fire, found out that our heater was not working right, and it was going to snow that night. So, that all got taken care of the next morning. When Steve got up first thing, he called the heater people, and our heat is now all operational, and our heat vents are now all covered with little cat butts, because our cats have figured out that if they lay on the vent, it is super toasty. We got back, and we just kind of spent a few days trying to recalibrate to where we were. Yesterday, I was like, well, Wednesday we had dance, so that we did. And then Wednesday night, it snowed. And yesterday, we just had like a super lazy day because it was a snow day. And we didn't really go out in it because it was cold and there wasn't enough to, like, play in. But there was enough that it was like, it snowed. But it is all... I think even in the places that are shaded, it is all now melted. But today I said we're going to try and get back on track because I had been doing so well about, like, we kind of had a routine and I was accomplishing things to some degree and felt good and all, you know, the things one can hope for. And then we left and we've come back and I have no motivation to do anything, and we should all be real proud that I'm out of bed and showered. So, but I am, and we are going to the library today because we have books to return and we need to get a new batch because we've read them all. And the more important thing is that we skipped Halloween here for multiple reasons. There was going to be a 4-H trunk or treat thing, which is what I had been making my eyeball shawl for, but because of when we scheduled to go to California, we missed that. So, I just didn't make the kids' costumes this year because I realized a little bit before that we were not going to be here for the event. So, there was no point in, like, putting in that effort, and they were cool with it. Especially when I told them that in lieu of going to trunk or treat or trick or treating at people's houses, which is kind of weird here, especially now that they do trunk or treat, instead of doing those things, I would take them each to the store and buy them each a bag of candy. And that means that we will only have good candy, probably, hopefully, candy that I actually like some of, instead of, like, the things that they might get. Though, I do have to say that the candy here is better than candy that I remember growing up. You don't have as much, like, when we have parade candy, it's all like Tootsie Rolls and icky things I don't like. But because there are so few trick-or-treaters here, people go, like, overboard on candy. We'll actually probably end up with less candy and in a more manageable amount by doing this than we would have if we had gone trick-or-treating. Because most houses end up not just giving you, like, a piece or two, they make, like, gift bags for everybody because they only have, like, 15 to 20 trick-or-treaters come by. It's a little ridiculous, but it's very sweet. And I am a little sad that we missed out on that, about getting to, you know, see all the community people, but I'm cool that I didn't have to make the costumes. And now we're going to go and get some, hopefully clearance. If not clearance, just we'll buy whatever candy we like that's a decent deal. That seemed fair to me. And we'll probably also go out to lunch because we're out of food. Because we intentionally, like, ate down the food we had before we left. So we need to go shopping, so there was no food for breakfast. I think we'll probably go to, like, Taco Bell on the way to Walmart. Because otherwise we will have not eaten. So that is where we're at. That is the update on my life. Isn't it exciting? I don't know that it is. I don't know that it's not exciting. It is what it is. So that is where I'm at. I need to go and dig up a shawlette or a scarf or something because this part of me is already feeling the draft within my house. So it's going to be too cold for outside. But the rest of me is very comfortable. I'm wearing my my pink sweater. I forget. I really need to go back and reread what some of my cardigans, which patterns they are, because I now forget. This is a heavily modified version of a velvet acorn pattern. I remember that. But, like, the stitch pattern and the, I changed a bunch of things because of yarn weight, and then also all the patterning is different. But I did use their proportions. I feel like it's still her. I don't know. I don't know how many modifications you have to make till it is no longer the pattern you were following. And you don't, like, feel like you need to give them credit, but I don't know. This is based heavily on a velvet acorn pattern. Okay, I'm gonna go and get those things done, and we'll see what the rest of my day brings. I have a feeling that by the time we get home from shopping, I'm going to be exhausted. Hopefully we're going to get back on track with doing some of our like, planning and tracking activities that we had been doing. We're gonna do, like, a partial tracking of things today, and then we'll move on to some stuff tomorrow. And then also we need to pick our next batch of kind of delight-led learning activities for the month. Because I think that'll be a good way for us to do things. Because it is November, it is the beginning of NaNoWriMo, which I know at least one of my kids will be participating in. Perhaps I might as well. I don't know. We'll see what she talks me into. And then she's also going to do NaCrocSwaymo, which is National Crochet a Sweater Month. And so I will probably try to make a sweater alongside her as well. I have 2 sweaters that I have started. One of them I started like 2 days ago, so I might just finish that one. Because, you know, that would be fine. So we will see what I come up with. Yeah. Okay. That counts as an update. I think you're all caught up. If you're not, I'll catch you up along the way. Okay. See you later.